Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make multiple step-by-step builds, starting with the chicken coop. I've always wanted to make a chicken coop, but I was never able to because the items never fit in and worked. But after that update where we got those cutout stands, I was able to finally make the chicken coop. So here are the materials you will need. 2 simple panels. I use the dark brown variation. You will also need 2 storefronts. I also customized that one to be brown as well. 2 beehives, I just customized those to be white. And most importantly, you will need the chicken coop cutout designs, which I'll put the creator code in the description. And also, if you want to add any other little details like fences or custom design, feel free to do that, it's your build. So the first thing I did was lay out some path. I just used the regular in-game dirt path and created a 4x5 square. Next, I placed down the cutout stands. If you're making the exact 4x5 square, then I placed it in the middle of the square, well, kind of in the middle, I guess. And then I placed the simple panels behind it. I customized it to be this chicken custom design. It only takes up 1 slot, and so it looks like it's peeking through the cutout stands. Also, don't mind the beehives in front of it. I moved those later, that's why I didn't put it in the video. The next step was to place down the storefronts. I placed them besides the simple panels and the cutouts to make sort of a building, and then I pushed the beehives back over so it looks more like a chicken coop. I then put the other storefront next to it, and now it really looks like a building and a chicken coop. And I also moved the beehive so it's symmetrical now. So that's the basic structure of the chicken coop. If you want to just leave it like that, that's fine. But I also added a couple of other decorations. I also changed the cutout stand to be the one with the chick coming out of the door and the chicken standing right next to it, so it looks like there's a way to actually access the scene that you see through the cutouts, even though there isn't, but it's just for decorations. And then I added, some other little decor like fences, and I also added a wheat field. And that completes the build. So this is how the final look of the chicken coop looks like. I think it looks really good, and if you have a farm core island or a very natural island, or you don't have a theme, then I highly suggest you making this build. It's really unique. The next build I'll be showing you how to make is a ice cream truck with a little bit of a seating area, but that's not important. The most important part is the ice cream truck. Anyways, here's the materials for the ice cream truck. You're gonna need 1 stall, 1 diner sofa. I customized mine to be the cream color. Whatever color truck you're making, you can customize it to be that variation. You're also going to need the ice cream truck cutout stands. Again, I'll leave those in the description. An ice cream display, and finally, this is optional, it's not required, but I feel like every single ice cream truck or ice cream stand needs to have a soft serve lamp as a decoration. I don't know, it's just so perfect. Originally, I wanted to do a whole crowd of food trucks, like a food truck center or whatever you call it, like when a bunch of food trucks gather around in one plaza. But I wasn't able to do that for a couple of reasons. The first reason, I wanted to use regular trucks, and you can add a branding or a logo, but people have made these custom designs that look like it's a serving area, and I wanted to customize different options for different trucks, but I didn't have enough slots to do that. And the second reason, it didn't really fit with my island, and I was thinking of putting it on the beach, but I don't think there would be enough room on the beach, so I just decided to scrap the idea and do a simple ice cream truck instead, which doesn't take any custom designs actually, and I'm really thankful for that. All it takes is the custom cutouts, but that one's in the Pro Designer app, and I don't have a lot of clothes in there, so I have a lot of empty slots, which is why I was able to do this, and which is why having those cutout stands are so amazing. Then I added some items that may be related to ice cream. I know there are those handhold ice cream items, but those are so tiny and small when you place them down, and you're not going to be able to see it. So I just added a cake and a mixer. And now as you can see, I'm creating a path. This is just going to lead down to the beach because that's where my little seating eating area is going to be. I just thought it would make it look like that area is reserved specifically for the ice cream truck. And also it's a good filler space, so it's a win-win. Oh, and then I remembered to put the ice cream display, so I added that. And then I added back the soft serve lamp, which fits a lot better now in my opinion. And then I went back to working on the seating area. So I feel like this is a whole different build, I guess, but it's not as important as the ice cream truck. So I'm gonna list out the materials, but it's not going to be shown on the screen. I'm just going to talk through it. So I used a plain party light, and then I also added some coconut trees just to make it feel more shady. And for the tables and chairs, I used the diner set. And then I was meant to customize this diner chair to be the cream color, but then I forgot and I was too lazy to go back to Harris Island to customize it. So it's gonna stay like that turquoise color in this video, but I went back later and customized it, so don't worry about it. So here I am putting the chairs for this table. I really hate it when the two chairs are across from each other. I don't know, it's just a pet peeve of mine. But in reality, when you go to a cafe, the chairs are across from each other, or any place really, so that's why I just kept it like that. Finally, I just added the ice cream cone, and that's the end of the build. Okay, so on to the next build. The next build that we are going to be making is this build that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I think I've been kind of hinting at it in my videos, but I've been wanting to make this gyroid music center for a while now. Just the thought of having a bunch of gyros dancing around to music is such a cute idea. So yeah, here are the list of materials you will be needing. Okay, so the main thing you will be needing is, of course, gyroids. These can be whatever colors, whichever kinds of gyroids you want. I just picked these ones that I found in my storage that might go well with my color schemes. I also added the plain party light arch. That's such a mouthful to say. And you can kind of make out my Animal Crossing character putting it down. And I also used items that may be in a band or a choir, like a mic, a drum set, a grand piano, and by the way, all of those are white. I also added a music stand, but I forgot to customize that, so in the video it's black, but I ended up customizing that later. Anyways, those are all the materials. Your brain's probably hurting from this blurred out screen, so I'll unblur it for you. But let's get back to whatever we were doing. So as you can see, I'm putting down gyroids. I'm using a mix of white and blue because the scenery will be white, so I wanted to add a little bit of white to contrast the scenery. Anyways, I added a low table and pushed it against the table. Then I added gyroids on top of that as well. This time I just added blue ones on there and left that one white one by itself. And now I'm placing down this path. I also sped this up, so the gyroids look really funny when they're dancing. I started working on decorations for the surrounding area. I added a grand piano that's super big. Well, for the gyroids, they're super tiny compared to it, and if they ever do want to play anything on the piano, they probably would need 2 gyroids to do so. This item was taking up a lot of space, so I had to move the mushroom over to pull that back, but finally I got it to an angle where it looked like it wouldn't get in the way, and it looked really good there. And then I added a piano bench too. This space is really squished and there's not that many items to put down, so I had to get rid of some of the instruments, but I managed to put the main things that I needed. And then I remembered that I was going to put a gyroid on like a piano stool so it looks like they're playing, so I put a stelloid because it's tall. And then I turned the stool around so it's facing it, but wait a minute. Why is the stool facing like that? Yeah, I just noticed that now. That's gonna bother me. But yeah, I placed the drum set down and I also replaced the pedaloid with the squeezoid, and I put the pedaloid for the drum set instead because that was taller and it looked better like that. Now I'm adding the final details. I added the music stand. Again, I forgot to customize it. That's why it's black. I faced it to the right because I didn't want it to block the gyroids, and I also didn't want to see the black stand. And also I added the mic at the end, and that's the end of the build. Again, really simple and really easy to put together. So anyways, without further ado, let's move on to the next build. So the last and final build we will be doing today is a garden. I would say you need a pretty big plot for this build, depending on how many weeds and flowers you put down. Before I list out all the materials, let me just point out that this is a really carefree build, so this one is all up to you. It's not going to be specific whatsoever, but if you want to see me placing down all the items and you want to copy exactly, feel free to do that. These are just the general materials you'll be needing. So let's get started. So for the centerpiece, you will be needing a gazebo. I customized that to be the gray option, 2 round topiaries, and 2 garden benches. That's for the main area. And then for the surrounding habitat, you will need flowers of your choice. I think I used 3 different colors, white, pink, and green. Well, green mums. And then I also used 4 different kind of flowers. You can use whichever kind of flowers you want. And as for the amount, I'm not sure how much you would be needing because it really depends on how big you create your garden to be. I would say like about 50. It really depends on how big your garden is going to be. Other things you can use are shrubs. I just used the plumera ones, but they're not sprouted. You'll also be needing butterfly models, bunny garden decorations, and if you want, you can use other plant-related objects. I decided not to, but you can if you want to. So let me now talk about the build. I'm putting down these little stone tiles. First I put down the main tile, and then I put the little stones around it. It makes it look like a stone monument, and I really like it like that. And after I placed down the rest of the stone tiles, I placed down the topiaries. My villagers are really distracting me, and now I think he's mad. Who did he get into an argument with? I really hate him here on my island. I really want to kick him out, but I don't have enough Nook Mile tickets to go hunting again. I mean, I have enough, but I don't want to use them all right now. Stop getting into fights with my other villagers. This is a peaceful island, and if you're not going to follow the one rule, then swim on out of here. You don't even deserve to take the airport. The airport is not going to deal with villagers like you, so please just swim onto another island. I don't care. Just get out of my sight, please. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was really angry at him because he's been getting into fights a lot with my villagers, and I said I was going to talk about the build. And I got distracted like 5 seconds later. So let's go back to that. So there are 2 paths that you can walk through. You can walk through the south entrance or the north entrance. From the south, there's a little ladder down there. And then I just connected the path. It made it longer and more visible. And then from the north path, it's just a regular snowy brick path that I used for my city. And after I placed down a couple of flowers, I started working on the snowy path. I made this path inaccessible on purpose. The bench is blocking the gazebo on purpose. A lot of the gardens I've seen have a lot of benches, so I just wanted to have some seating areas, and the path just shows where to go if you want to sit. So for this garden, it requires a lot of flowers. I feel like that's what makes it super beautiful. I try to put flowers in as many spaces as I could, and for areas that felt like there were too many flowers, I just added an item like a butterfly model or a bunny garden decoration or shrubs or stuff like that. Stuff that is really natural, but it still gives it some height and it adds to the scenery. Another tip for your garden is to match the flowers. I really like how that looks. But of course, if you don't like how that looks, then do whatever you want. But I really like matching the colors and using different colors and different flower species. So I'm going around putting the last final flowers. By the way, I never talked about what flower colors I use. I use hyacinths, mums, cosmos, and a couple of tulips, just like 2 or 3 because I didn't have that many. I'm not sure if there are any other flower types. I can't remember off the top of my head, but in my opinion, I don't really like roses that much. I don't really know why. I used to like golden roses and I would put them everywhere on my island, but that's when I had no theme, and now they don't really fit in, so I kind of just keep them hidden here and there if I ever do use them. Oh, there are lily of the valleys. I don't know, would you count that as a flower species? It's kind of just its own flower type. I actually added more custom designs behind the gazebo because I extended the path, so now there's more of an entrance. But anyways, I placed this last bush down and here's the end of the build. That was probably the longest build that I filmed, but it was worth it and it came out really nice, so again, I highly encourage it. If you have a spring core island, this is perfect, or just any island. I feel like gardens fit in any island. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching the 4 builds that I've done. I hope you find it useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!